Good morning. How are you? Well, it's another beautiful day in paradise. I just read an article last night about the notion of foresting, how you take on some healing properties just walking through a forest. Well, I don't know about that, but I do feel better and differently. And there are more people that are curing themselves of our political ills by walking, exercising in their basements, doing the various things that help us keep our heads on straight. People don't all have their heads on straight, and leading the pack, or the trumpeteers, if you will, the challenges to the proceedings so far in court have all been frivolous. But there's an early warning sign, I think, in Pennsylvania, when Alito enters a decision that ballots will be segregated when, as he says it, they've already been segregated by the order of the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania. So was the point of him entering a decision for PR value for Trump's attack on the election? Since it is a very basic premise of all litigation that do you have a real controversy and is it ripe for decision? As I read the case, there was no controversy because the Secretary of State had already done what those who appealed to the Supreme Court wanted to have happen. So was this clearing a path? Now, my prejudice is any delay in this election gives them time for mischief. And I have been watching Fox News, but I see on Twitter and so forth that people have the same cognitive dissonance between what they know to be true and what they see on Fox. And Fox is the only source of information for many people in America. And they obviously have no responsibility for the truth. They are a pure and simple political machine that I guess figures if they hang on to Trump, at the very least they get dollars in their coffers. And I don't know how important it is that they also have a political stand. The policy of Biden, I do understand on some level. That is, let's patiently count. So you bring the nation along, and it's not a jarring difference. But I can tell you from the 2000 election, and probably many of you had the same experience, that Bush was out there right away acting as if he was president, notwithstanding the contest in Florida. And Biden is not making the error that Gore did of sort of sitting back. And Gore made two errors. You know, he conceded the election twice. It was almost like he wanted the election over so bad. And his second withdrawal speech, concession speech, was more articulate than many of the speeches he gave in the campaign. And I don't mean to be harsh, but that sure is the way it appeared to me. And I don't want to get into his psychology. But the Supreme Court decided that election, and I was working on the Hill at the time, and I can't imagine a more depressed feeling among politicos as that occasion. And they wouldn't talk to each other in the hallways. And Dennis Hastert, the Republican who was then the Speaker of the House, he decided that the best way to resume Congress was to keep everybody away from each other. And he brought them back slowly, and then when they were there, like by March after the election, he cut the number of days and hours in which they were there to legislate. And the problem with that is when there's more time on the Hill, these men and women have to socialize, and they do. And that aspect, the humanity of that, can offset at least some of the bitter feelings between partisans on the Hill. So where do we stand? Well, I really hope by the end of this weekend, everybody gets their act together and decides Biden is the winner of the election, because I think that's critical for him actually winning the election and for the nation moving on. One can be too understanding. Imagine the calculus by which you or I or most people could get along with the extreme trumpeteers. Very few cases. So we have to outnumber them as we do in the majority vote, and as we are going to when somebody finally declares these states to be Biden's. So I hope this wasn't too off-putting, but and there's not a lot we can do except wait, but we can speak on social media and say what I'm saying. So have a good day. Get out and enjoy the outdoors. All the best. Bye-bye.